the angle of the shot. Yet another factor that determines the identity of the visual is the position of the camera from the subject. Camera positions are also called angles. Height and orientation or level of the camera in relation to the subject produces different shots that exude different meaning and mood. Low angle shot. Low angle shot is a variety of shot in which the subject is filmed directly from below and the camera tilts up at the action or character to make the subject appear larger than life, more formidable, taller and more menacing, contrast to a high angle shot to make characters or environments look threatening, powerful or intimidating. Generally, low angle shots are used. The low angle shot can also give a distorted perspective, showing a world out of balance. This can produce a sense of both disorientation and foreboding. High angle shot. In a high angle shot, the subject or scene is filmed from above and the camera points down on the action, often to make the subject small, weak and vulnerable. This type of shot is in contrast to low angle shot. The camera is placed above the subject pointing down. It tends to diminish a subject, making it look intimidated or threatened. This is the conventional way of making characters look insignificant. Eye level shot. Eye level shots are those taken with the camera on or near the eye level of the character or subject being filmed. Eye level shots tend to be neutral. Much like the medium shot, an eye level shot puts the viewer on equal footing with subjects being filmed. It has none of the diminishing or exaggerating qualities of the high low angle shots. Bird's eye view. This is also called an overhead shot. It is actually a variation of the high angle shot, but is extreme that it has an effect all its own. This shot is from directly above and tends to have a godlike, omniscient point of view. People look ant-like and insignificant. Dutch angle. In this type of shot, the camera is tilted laterally on a tripod, so it is no longer parallel with the horizon. The Dutch angle shot is also called oblique shot. It takes the straight line of the world and represents as diagonals. It is generally used to give an overwhelming sense of the worlds being unbalanced. Establishing shot. An establishing shot in filmmaking and television production sets up or establishes the context for a scene by showing the relationship between its important figures and objects. It is generally a long or extreme long shot at the beginning of a scene, indicating where and sometimes when the remainder of the scene takes place. Establishing shots were more common during the classical era of filmmaking than they are now. Today's filmmakers tend to skip the establishing shot in order to move the scene along more quickly. In addition, the expositional nature of the shot, as we have discussed, may be unsuitable to scenes in mysteries where details are intentionally obscured or left out. Establishing shots may use famous landmarks to indicate the city where the action is taking place or has moved to. An establishing shot might be a long shot of a room that shows all the characters from a particular scene. An establishing shot may also establish a concept rather than a location. For example, opening with a martial arts drill visually establishes the theme of martial arts. A shot of rain falling could be an establishing shot, followed by more and more detailed look at the rain, culminating with individual raindrops falling. Point of view shot. Point of view shot, also known as POV shot or subjective camera, is a short film scene that shows what a character or the subject is looking at, represented through the camera. It is usually established by being positioned between a shot of a character looking at something and a shot showing the character's reaction. See short reverse shot. The technique of POV is one of the foundations of film editing. A POV shot need not be the strict point of view of an actual single character in a film. Sometimes the point of view shot is taken over shoulder of the character or third person, who remains visible on the screen. Sometimes a POV shot is shared, dual or triple, that is, it represents the joint POV of 2 or more characters. Cutaway shot. In film and video, a cutaway shot is the interruption of a continuously filmed action by inserting a view of something else. It is usually, although not always, followed by a cut back to the first shot. When the cutaway avoids a jump cut, the cutaway shot does not necessarily contribute any dramatic content of its own, but is used to help the editor assemble a longer sequence. For this reason, editors choose cutaway shots related to the main action, such as another action or object in the same location. Cut in, like a cutaway, but specifically refers to showing some part of the subject in detail. It can be used purely as an edit point or to emphasize emotion, etc. For example, hand movements can show enthusiasm, agitation, nervousness, etc. Two shot. There are few variations on this one, but the basic idea is to have a comfortable shot of two people, often used in interviews or when two presenters are hosting a show. A one shoot could be a mid shot of either of these subjects. Two shot is good for establishing a relationship between the subjects. It is a good way to follow the interaction between the two people without getting distracted by their surroundings. Noddy shot. Common in interviews, this is a shot of the person listening and reacting to the subject. In fact, when shooting interviews with one camera, the usual routine is to shoot the subject for the entire interview and then shoot some noddies of the interviewer once the interview is finished. The noddies are edited into the interviewer later.